The Prime Minister has always maintained during his speeches since COVID-19 reached Papua New Guinea in March 2020 that COVID-19 is not only a health issue but also an economic one which has had direct impacts on the country's economy.
On the space of COVID-19 and the effect that it has had on the economies, and I did point to the fact that COVID-19 is not just a health issue, but COVID-19 is an economic issue. It has a consequence, a direct consequence of economy. Now, related to our PNG experience, we have not shut down our borders strictly per se. We have learned and adapted to living with COVID-19. Our National Pandemic Act has enabled us to tailor-make specific regulations and rules and for us to live with COVID-19.
During a week that has also seen Prime Minister James Marape having bilateral talks with Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga during a virtual online bilateral summit, PM Marape appealed to the major economy players of the Pacific region via virtual conferencing during the 9th Pacific Alliance Leaders Meeting to open up a Pacific COVID bubble to enable struggling countries to get back on track.
With COVID-19 and borders shut down globally, many of our small Pacific Island nations are faced with the economy struggling as we speak. Most of them depend on tourism. Most of them depends on fisheries. Most of us depend on export of our raw materials to our markets, and we made special intervention for Japan and the economies in the Pacific region, including Australia and New Zealand, to have a specific economic bubble in which we operate inside and trade inside, so that our small Pacific Island nations, including Papua New Guinea, is not harmed further when COVID-19's effect continues to be pushed on into 2022 and 2023 and into the immediate future. So,
PM Marape, in making the call, also thanked the countries Japan, Australia and New Zealand for their support to smaller nations and economies in the Pacific region during difficult COVID times over recent months. Dennis Sorere, National EMTV News.